One of the things, one of the most dynamic things in that video is I love the way that she describes the person of help as being the guide, as opposed to the therapist, as opposed to the doctor, because that's really what it is. When we're in the process of healing, and I'm speaking to two different groups of people, I'm speaking to people that may be suffering from these things, and I'm speaking to people that are going to help people suffering. That point A to point B is a journey. And we know that if we're going into the unknown, if we're going to drop me in the middle of the woods somewhere that I've never been before, and I've got to get to my destination, I know that I'm probably going to get there safer and quicker if I have a guide that's gone that route before. So using the term guide as the person that's helping you through that journey, and also recognizing that the most successful guides, the most successful mentors, therapists are going to be those that, number one, can resonate to the sort of experiences that the person is suffering from, or that have gone through that journey themselves. And that's not something that we hear. We tend to, when we think about therapists, we tend to think about help, we look at the number of letters that are after their name. Well, this person's got a PhD from such and such, that they must know what they're doing. That's not always the case. Many times it is. But again, speaking about the holistic model of someone that understands, it's not just about what you read in books, it's lived experiences, it's that connection about how the mind and the body are so intricately tied together, combined with having an understanding of what it's like to go through that journey. You will find that will be the person that will be the most successful. And that can be applied as a doctoral therapist, it can be applied as a chaplain, it can be applied as someone that's working in peer support. If you bring those dynamics to the healing journey, you are going to be the most successful influence on helping someone that's going through a very difficult journey. It's not an easy journey, but yeah, for sure. Okay, so
Dr. Perkins,
yes.
Dr. Perkins, I really appreciate that video a whole lot. And one of the pieces that really resonated with me was the multisensory approach, like the intellectual approach. When you approach it from an intellectual approach, and the way I look at it is from an experiential intellectual approach, I really do think that's where the power comes from. And that is why, just like, for example, with the Haven, we're so big on the peer support approach and ensuring that even though all of our therapists may not be, obviously first responders, we definitely want to make sure that they have some sort of experiential process, I guess, to bring to the table when they are. I think I have to agree so much with what you were saying in terms of, I think the most successful therapy is definitely, like you say, it's guided. It's a guide, and letting the client be the guide, or the person be the guide, or and I'm thrilled to hear this, because we're so archaic in our approach to these therapies, right? And I just love hearing this new way of thinking. And it's really not new. It's just simply a more sensible way of thinking.
Right.
So I just wanted to share
definitely.
that.
But it's certainly not the popular school of thought. And, if we, so much when we hear about therapy, even in the world of first responders, one of these coined phrases that we love to hear, it's evidence-based. If we put the same weight to experience-based as we did to evidence-based treatments, man, we would really recognize a great deal of success.